Hello and welcome. This video is part of a series that aims to provide guide for beginners in Rust. We are going to be installing Rust on a Windows operating system. So, what is Rust? Rust is a memory-efficient and fast programming language with no runtime or garbage collector. It runs on embedded devices and can be used to create web applications and command line tools. It has good documentation and a great community. Although we'll be installing it on Windows, a separate video with link in the description will guide you through its installation on Windows subsystem for Linux. So first of all, you go to rustlang.org. The link is going to be in the description. Rust is installed using rustc, a command line tool that helps you install Rust and other necessary packages that is associated with it. So we are going to be checking the version. If your system is a 64-bit, you click on the 64-bit version. But if your system is a 32-bit, you click on the 32-bit version to download the necessary executable. Since my system is a 64-bit, I'm going to be clicking on the 64-bit version. After Rust is downloaded, we are going to click on it to install. A command line interface is going to display. So we'll click 1 to proceed with installation with default settings. You can click 2 to customize the installation, that is if you intend to change the path of the installation. rustc, which we use in installing Rust, install other associated tools. Among these two is Cargo, the package manager for Rust, which helps us to manage dependency for large projects, but we are going to discuss more about Cargo later on in the video. When the installation is done, it is going to display Rust is installed now. Great. Make sure that installation text is displayed to ensure that it's installed. Click enter to continue. You can create a folder. For this tutorial, I already created a getting started folder, and then I'm going to open up this folder in VS Code. I'm using VS Code as my default editor, or you can use other editors such as Sublime Text or Vim, as long as you have access to the terminal. So first of all, the first file created is the main.rs file. The main.rs file contains your code or your Rust code that is going to be executed. This main.rs file comes with a .rs extension. The .rs extension signifies Rust file, just like .js for JavaScript and .html for HTML files. So we are going to be running a hello world or displaying hello world to the terminal. Hello world is something you do the first time you learn a particular language. It's the first thing you do. So first of all, we create our main function, which is the root function in Rust for all code execution. And then we print hello world to the terminal output by using print line. This is run as a macro, not a function, hence the exclamation mark. We are going to explain more about macros later on in this series. In order for us to run our code, we'll have to compile it first. And to compile it, you open your terminal. You can open your terminal from up or just click Ctrl Shift and a single backtick. And once it's open, we are going to use rustc. rustc or Rust compiler is installed when you use the Rust up or when you install Rust. So rustc compiles our code to binary. If you're familiar with languages like C, such as using glang for C and C++. So all you have to do is just click rustc main.rs and then it creates a main.exe file. This main.exe file is what we execute to run our Rust code. Your Rust code is compiled to an executable binary, and that executable binary is the main.exe file. To run this main.exe file, all we have to do is just type /main.exe into the terminal. And that slash is going to be a backward slash if you're using command prompt and a forward slash if you're using Linux. Using Rust is a simple way of running Rust when there's not going to be package dependencies or you're not relying on other dependencies or libraries that helps your code run. But when your codes get bigger, you need something to manage the dependency, and that is when we introduce Cargo. So how do we use Cargo? So we are going to clean everything currently here to start a new Cargo project. To start our Cargo project, all we have to do is just to type Cargo, new, and then the project name. We are going to be running a Hello World project, so we'll type Cargo, new, Hello World. But before we do that, let's clear our command line. So after this, we are going to notice is printed on the terminal that created a binary package. A folder is going to be created, and this folder, an src folder, is created. A .geekignore and cargo.toml is created. In our src folder, a main.rs file is created in the folder, and this file, all the code inside, all it does is just print hello world, like our format code when we use rustc. So Cargo expects all your codes to be located in the src folder, and it creates a cargo.toml file. This file contains the name of the package, the version of the package, and edition. It also contains dependency listing, and this dependency listing shows dependency the program rely on. Now our program has no dependencies. When we use other, we'll discover it. So next, how do we run it? How do we run the code located in our main.rs? So what we do is cargo build. This is one of the way. There are two main ways. We'll have to change our directory to the hello world directory. CLS, let's clear our terminal. So to run it, we are going to use two main methods, the cargo build and the cargo run. But we'll use the cargo build for now. What cargo build does is that it compiles our file. This compiled executable or binary executable is located in target/debug using rustc. But the second method now, this gets stressful when we're compiling. The second method is to compile and run. We use cargo run. So what cargo run does is that it builds and executes the file. So you notice hello world is printed because cargo world builds it, that is compiles it, and then it executes it. So cargo world is what we'll be mainly using. Then we use build to create the finished executable. This will be all for today. If you would like to see more Rust tutorial and follow the series, hit the subscribe button.